profit centers. So Mitchell Repair Center allows the creation of profit centers, allowing the shop to categorize and actively track the sales and costs for these specific groups or this specific action that you want to do. The purpose of the feature allows, when adding a non-estimated line to a repair order, to select this category they wish and have the sales and costs go to. Now, a lot of shops nowadays are looking to expand into the mechanical side of it, and they want to track mechanical parts, mechanical services, anything like that, and have its own profit center to go to. With that being said, we can add in this manual selection. The relevance of the profit center is coming from the estimating system, and the CARSTAR chart of accounts and setup in your accounting platform will still remain the same. What this will do is allow us to select this new profit center when adding a non-estimated line to a repair order. Something very, very important to remember. The shop must ensure the corresponding account is also created inside their accounting package. What we suggest, make sure the naming convention and the numbering is exactly the same. This will ensure that the link that needs to be established from Mitchell Repair Center to your accounting software is correct and is talking back and forth to each other. Once you create the new profit center, you must ensure that we link the two back up. If you need assistance on this, what we highly suggest is that you call the Mitchell Technical Support number, which I believe everyone has, but I will revisit with you, is 1-800-448-4401. What we're going to do now is actually see how you create a new profit center. So the first thing to do when creating a new profit center is built in the configuration. So where we want to go is go up to the More button in the top right corner of Repair Center and select Configuration. Once we do that, we're going to click on the Accounting tab. Once we select the Accounting tab, what we're going to do is click on the Profit Centers sub-tab. Now, not everyone may have access to this. More so, it may be the manager or the owner who has access rights to get into this section. So if you don't, you would want to talk with that individual who has the admin access rights to begin setting this new profit center up. Once we've done, we're going to go down and select one of the service profit centers. There's a listing of profit centers, and I will show you where they are in our live demonstration of this. But you'll go down and select one of the live profit centers. Once we've done that, we will move down and we will look at the bottom of the screen. At that point in time, we will enter the new name, what we want to name our convention to. We will also enter our cost of goods sold section, where we will put in the corresponding accounting package number and name. We will also do the sales section of it, and there's also a section for our inventory. Now, not a lot of shops in their accounting package use an inventory item section, but if there is, you can also correspond it to that section. Again, please ensure that the numbering must be the same, and I would suggest also make the naming the same. Once completed of entering all that information into the bottom section, we want to ensure that in the top left corner of that bottom panel, we select that the account is enabled. We also want to ensure that the account is taxable. Once we've entered this information into it, we're going to click on the Update button. When we click on the Update button, this will save this information into Repair Center, and you have just created a new account. At this time, I'm going to create a new profit center inside of my Mitchell Repair Center just to show you the exact steps to go through. So where we're going to go first of all is come up to the More section, and we're going to come into Configuration. Once inside Configuration, we're going to come over to our Accounting tab, and then we'll work on our Profit Centers tab. Once in the Profit Centers tab, an easy way to access the service items is come over to the Item Department header and click on that. This is going to sort it in alphabetical order for us. We're going to come over to the right-hand side and use our scroll bar and scroll all the way down into our services section. Now inside the services section, we'll highlight one of the service items, and then we're going to exactly follow it all the way through. We're going to come down, we're going to enable the account. For adjustments or discounts, we want to ensure that this is set to none. And our naming convention, we're going to type in what we want to do. So for this instance, what I'm going to do is put in mechanical parts. This is something that I want to track. I'm going to come down to the account, and with my corresponding account number inside of my accounting system, I will put in this number for me. I'll then come over to the account name, and at the end of the sales, after the little colon, we're going to clear out this side of it, and we're going to put in the name of the account that we are creating. We're then going to come down to our costs account and do exactly the same thing. Once that's done, we're going to ensure that it is taxable at the same time. And once complete, we're going to click our Update button. Now that we've created, we can actually come over to our listing and we can see that we have created our new section. To use this new section now, or the new profit center, when we come into one of our jobs and we go to our repair lines screen, by using the non-edited line section, we can come over to the Add button. Once we select Add, when our new window pops up, when we come over to our part type section and scroll down, we can see there's our new profit center to be used. We can enter our description of what we want, our estimated amount, and we've added a new line with our part type in there with our new profit center that we wish to use. So this is a great tool to use for tracking those additional services that you provide on a daily basis or an offshoot basis, or something that you're looking to venture into and keep track of your sales and your costs associated to it. Just be very, very aware that you must link this to your accounting system. And again, I cannot stress enough, the numbering must be exactly the same, and I would highly suggest the naming convention as well. At this point in time, I'd like to open up the lines again, and if anybody has any questions in regards to this, please feel free to ask. Is there any questions we have on creating a new profit center inside of Mitchell Repair Center?
The lines are open right now if anybody has any questions.
I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Say if you want to just upsell pull the scratch on the quarter panel, and say you verbally quoted them $500, can you just put that in there, labor, materials?
Yeah, they did, but they...
175, materials being 325.
I didn't give any payment. Frank wasn't here.
Sorry, sir, I didn't hear all your question there and kind of in and out. Could you just repeat that for me?
I'm just saying, say like you do a customer like upsell, right, on getting a quarter panel fixed up or something that you weren't even fixing.
Okay.
Can you type that in there and split it out, labor, materials, right off the bat? Like, we had an issue with that where you want, I'd just like to see you demonstrate it, make it work.
So you did an upsell and you added a manual line to the existing repair order?
Yeah.
Okay. So on this instance, you came in here.
Oh, sorry. I think
off your screen.
Yeah, somebody else is sharing the screen. Hold on one second. No, this is somebody else's screen. Hold on one sec. Sorry. Somebody took over the screen sharing. One sec.
You get him to turn it.
There you go.
Okay. So in your example, sir, what you did was that you had an original repair, then what you did, you came down to your add section and you added in an additional operation or your upsell. So kind of walk me through what you did on that.
Well, that's where I get to. There was no parts sold, so I want labor sold. And then you want to break out materials. So basically,
so you went,
for example,
you went to, go ahead.
There's no actual part being sold to it. It's just labor and materials.
Okay. So what in that instance, what you can do is what category or this profit center did you associate it to originally?
I haven't done one in a while, but it would probably be under like body or additional labor.
Okay.
I'm just looking through your screen or trying to do it on your screen.
Well, it's in here. So just want to confirm, you're not selling a part. You just want to allocate. You just want to be able to charge labor as well as associate some paint materials to it. Am I correct on that?
That's right. So you should labor.
Yeah. So
type in.
just a couple of things that you want to recognize, right? So if it's not a part and it's actually a materials account that you want to set, you do have to go under the parts section under the paint materials or the body materials account to add that portion of the body materials. The actual labor amount in itself is under the next section below, which relates to body, mechanical, or anything like that. You can put the labor operation in terms of hours or an actual amount. If it's to do with, sorry, can I get everybody to mute their line if they're not speaking, please? So if you look at the John, can you just click on paint materials for 1 second? You see at the next line underneath, you got the labor types. You got body, mechanical, and such there. As well, if it's a refinishing time or a paint labor that you want, you would do that on the next line underneath it, where it's specific to the paint hours.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Right, so you have those two sections, as well as underneath that, who's paying. If you have a job that is being, I guess, originally coming from one of your carriers, and then this is an upsell that you're selling to the customer that the customer will pay for, you turn around and you put the payer as C for customer, or leave it as it defaults to I for insurance company. But if it's a customer pay portion, you can put C on here as well.
Perfect.
One additional thing that I want you guys to realize too is that we want you guys to upsell as much as you can. So realizing and remembering that if you do any type of upselling within the non-estimate line section, you have the ability to print just the estimate lines that go to the insurance carrier, as well as you can print a full invoice with the estimate line and non-estimate lines for your customer to distinguish or to differentiate what you have with or what was worked on because of the accident and what was an upsell that you sold.
Does anybody else have any other questions in regards to this creation of a new profit center?
I want to, it's in here, guys, again, sorry. I just want to add one additional, and we will probably cover this later on in a different section, but just so you guys understand the feature of the non-estimate lines, if you have something that is considered shop pay, so give you a prime example, if one of your repair techs broke a headlight, in terms of while they're fixing it, and you don't want that part to appear on the invoice, do not do it in the non-estimate lines. Anything to do with labor or parts that the shop is eating up the cost, we want you to do it in the respective section, either parts in terms of add parts or or labor in terms of add supplemental labor. Anything.
Si vous trouvez le même pneu annoncé à un prix inférieur, nous vous rembourserons la différence. Nous vous offrons aussi un service d'entreposage des pneus pour la modique somme de 19,95 $ par semaine.
Sorry about that. So if anybody wants to do anything with shop pay lines, right, you want to do it in the respective sections. John, can you hit the parts section for me for 1 second? So anything here, if you add parts or add supplemental labor, what's going to happen is that it's going to allow you to cost it towards the repair order and not show on the invoice. Okay? Sorry, John, you can take it back now if anybody else has any questions.
Excuse me, how do you get it to not show on the invoice?
Oh, so John, can you go back to the parts section for 1 second? So if you look at the parts section here, if you can see where the prices are, you have the estimate, vendor, and cost.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's associated to a sale that you want the customer to pay or the insurance companies to pay, you want to put that in the non-estimate lines so that you can populate the estimate total section. When you click on add a part here, it'll allow you to add a vendor cost and a vendor list and a cost price. It is not associated to the actual repair order. All we're doing with this section is costing it because you have to still order the part and you still have to cost it so that you can send it to your accounting system. So when you use the add part feature or add supplemental feature, it'll allow you to just account for cost. So when you print your invoice, those parts or those labor totals will not appear on your final invoice to the customer.
Is there a way then to track, like monthly, how much you are spending on broken parts if you're doing it that way?
The only way for you to actually do that is to actually create a brand new parts category that you can track, unfortunately. Because when you associate it to, let's say, parts new, it's associated within that realm of that profit center. It doesn't allow you to differentiate. But when you look at your job cost report, it will reflect correctly. You just won't be able to section it off. Anybody else have any questions?
Any other questions?